Hey guys, Benjamin's back here once again doing another portfolio review. We do also, or I should say, I can also do resume reviews and portfolio reviews if you're interested. The link is in the description for that. But without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and review Shadow's portfolio. So let's go ahead and bring that up. Okay, and it looks like Shadow's name is actually Liam Stockton. Cool. Okay, so right off the bat, I think I see there's kind of like an inconsistency with the font. This is like full capital case or full uppercase, and then this is kind of like capital case, and there's kind of an odd difference here between the different font sizes. So like this is large, that's a bit smaller, and then that's a bit larger again. Um, Probably shouldn't capitalize front-end developer. You can leave that lowercase. And I'm kind of curious. I'm hoping that, oops, this is the same font, but it kind of looks a little bit different. So I'm going to take a peek at that really fast as well. So let me close that out, and I'm just going to move this video up there. All right. So let's see. Large name. Okay, so that's. Can't pronounce that. One font family. Okay, same font family. Okay, cool. So it is the same font family throughout. So yeah, one thing I would recommend then is just keeping the font sizes relatively consistent for your two subheaders here, for this one and for this one. Or maybe even like making this tiny, like you could probably wrap it in, okay, you have it set as small name, but I think you could probably wrap it in like a small markup, or maybe a span, and then you could just style out the span separately. But let's try just a small for now. No, okay, because that's inside the actual markup, it looks like. All right, never mind. So I would have to actually go into the CSS and change that, which I'm not gonna really mess with right now. But yeah, I would recommend either making that like super tiny, or maybe just get rid of it altogether. And this is just a personal opinion, but honestly, I would. I'm of the preference not to like excuse me, uppercase anything that isn't like a large link like this. You know, I like what you did with these navigation links, and I like that these are all uppercase, but I don't know, for whatever reason, when I see headers that are all uppercase, it's just kind of a pet peeve of mine, but it really depends upon the person looking at a portfolio. Okay, so let's see. We have a nice little hover effect. It looks like this is getting bolded and underlined. I'm going to go ahead and just inspect that. Pretty curious to see what we have here. Okay, and that's just contained in the nav. Okay, so font style is at 18, and it looks like your default fallback is probably around 12, so it appears. Yeah, personally, I would probably bump this down just a little bit. Then that way it's not as, he'll go 16. And then that's not as conflicting with this, if that's like the core idea that you want to have there. I suppose while I'm in here, let me go ahead and I'm just gonna, just to see what it looks like. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and remove this really fast. And I'm going to bring down this font size a little bit. Maybe 36. Yeah, 36 looks good. That's personally how I would, but you know, again, it's really a matter of personal preference. I know that this is cliche, but as a 14-year-old web developer, like, this is good, trust me. I wish that I had started that young, honestly. You know, I'd done like Photoshop back in the day, but really didn't dig into the meat and bones of code, so I'm a little envious. You're in a good spot, like. Okay, and then for these section titles, again, I would probably lowercase this as well, or excuse me, capital case. So about me, like so. Okay, good intro text. I would probably break this up into 2 separate paragraphs though. So I would probably grab it around I started programming. Let me see. There we go. I started programming. Okay, I'll just cut that out. And okay, I'll just go ahead and duplicate this. Of course, I'll probably have to remove the padding. You know what? I'm just going to be a little bit hacky, and I'm just going to put in a BR on this. Ah, shoot. I can't do that because it's within the string. All right, well, you get the idea. Just break up this into 2 different paragraphs. Okay, and then for skills, would probably do the same as your other headers. Actually, out of curiosity, I want to see what this font face is. Okay, so it's a Blink Max system font. It looks like it may fall back to the same font that you're using for the headers. So that's one thing I suppose I would recommend, is using maybe 2 different fonts on your site. So you have, like one main font for your headers here, and then use a different font for the text and the details and that sort of thing, and that'll really help provide a nice visual contrast. But overall, again, really liking this portfolio. Another thing I would probably add is a little bit more, probably a little bit of padding near the bottom of this. So let's see, we have large name. Hopefully that's the only instance of it. If it's not, we'll see some things break somewhere else on the page. But I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so we'll find out together. All right, do 20 pixels. Yeah, 20 looks okay. Let me minimize that. Okay. Just the reason I was doing that is just because you have so much open space here. I kind of like to see that consistency. And while you probably have the same amount of spacing between these, it's nice to not see things so stuck together. Like for example, if I remove the padding again, then you just see that these are closer as well. That's pretty close. Just a little bit of padding does make life a little bit nicer in terms of readability, in my opinion. Okay, so these look good. I would probably recommend bringing the size down on this just a little bit. So it looks like you're using a adjustable font size for that. Okay, and is that set as an H2? Interesting. Okay, well, let's bump it down to 80. Nope. Not 80 pixels, 80%. I can type. There we go. And okay, cool. That doesn't mess with the other H2. So yeah, that's something I would recommend, is maybe bring down the font size on that just a little bit. But yeah, looks good. Let's see. Projects. Again, I would probably do the same capital case on that, just so that the P is capitalized. Excuse me. All right, let's click on this. All right, so that just brings us back to here. And okay, cool. So it brings you to another portfolio site. Let me go back. Maybe it opened a new tab. Yep, okay, it opened a new tab. I suppose I would remove these 3 here just because you don't have other work to display. I think it's okay to have, like 1 or 2 blank things, but having like an entire row, it's just kind of, not necessary, I guess would be the best way to put it. So we could just select that and press delete, delete, delete. Cool. And you could even put like a coming soon sort of thing, or say, hey, this is the type of project I'm working on. Just a thought. Okay, cool. And then you have your contact info down here. You have your email. And one thing I think I would probably recommend is just putting the email on a line above this, so that it's, you know, just more of like a, since you already have everything that's kind of center aligned on the bottom here, and these images are center aligned, just makes it a little bit more of a cascading effect, but honestly not necessary. Okay, cool. And it looks like you have your social links. So while we have a little bit more time, I'm just going to go ahead and pop open these social links and take a look. Give you a follow on GitHub. Looks like you got some decent activity there, so awesome, man. Cool. And it looks like you're doing, this looks like a podcast. Awesome. That's awesome, man. Like, you really need to get out, as a web developer in general. Web developers need to get out there and promote themselves. And the fact that you're starting early and, you know, you're starting to promote yourself and to get a brand name out there, that's awesome. You know, stick with it, man, seriously. It'll serve you well. Okay, cool. And it looks like you're also doing YouTube videos. You have 95 subs. Well, let's make it 96. Have decent graphic design skills. I dig that. Also dig the use of 2 different fonts here. Looks like you're doing a solid job on doing YouTube thumbnails, something I definitely need to work on myself. Cool, man. I dig it. I'm going to watch some of your videos later. And of course, I'm following you on Twitter. Expand your creativity, web developer, and learning Python on the side. Join my Discord. Awesome. Well, I think I might already be a member of that, so I'm just going to close that. Cool. You're getting some decent engagement there. Go use the hashtags on this. Let me close that out. Give you a follow on Instagram as well. Okay, looks good. Maybe I would post a couple of things just pertaining to code, you know, some more images like that. But yeah, all looks good. I'm not a huge Instagram person. I don't have a Facebook, so I'm not going to grade you on this one. And that's it. Well, hey, thanks for sharing your portfolio with me. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're a web developer, you're watching, and you want me to review your resume or your portfolio, the link is in the description to sign up for that. I'd be happy to give you feedback. If you don't want something that's so public like this, that's not on my YouTube channel and not on Free Code Camp's YouTube channel, I do also have the option of doing a little bit of consulting in addition to the resume or portfolio review. That is for a charge, but it is private, and I do work with you one-on-one. Well, thanks again for watching. My name is Benjamin Spack. I hope you have a great one.